Revealed, the incredible life-changing lesson I discovered after my daughter's shocking push. Jack stood in his auto repair shop, the sunlight filtering through the window, illuminating the dust motes dancing in the air. The scent of motor oil and the distant clamor of passing cars filled the space he had worked so hard to keep afloat. His shop was struggling, but every tightening dollar felt like a punch to the gut. Yet there he was, a devoted single father in his late 30s, trying to hold the fort together for his remarkable daughter. Lily, just 16, bustled in with rosy cheeks and a fierce spirit, a bright light in his otherwise dim reality. But behind that bright smile lay a current of anxiety. She sensed the weight of bills piling up, the unrelenting pressure of existing in a town that flaunted the American dream. Jack knew this truth but kept it hidden, convinced that shielding her from their struggles was the mark of a good father. Then one evening, lightning struck. "Dad, you have to speak at Maplewood Community Day." She beamed, her enthusiasm palpable. The annual event was a celebration of local talent, a chance for businesses like theirs to shine. But the thought of exposing their vulnerabilities, their shaky ground, ignited something inside him, a mix of anger, fear, and a flicker of pride. "No way, Lily. What would people think?" he snapped, his voice raising more than he intended. Pulling away, he felt her disappointment, the tremor in her hopeful voice as she pleaded for him to reconsider. But Jack's pride held him. "You should focus on school," he muttered, wanting to protect her from the reality that he had to face every day. Yet as days turned into weeks, the tension simmered at home. Jack's steadfast resoluteness to shield Lily resulted in misunderstandings. She started feeling inadequate and bitter, the fear of being judged silently gnawing at her. Jack felt the gulf widen. He wanted to scream for help, but his pride held him back. The day of the event arrived, and as Jack stood backstage, his heart pounded harder than the clanging of tools in his shop. He looked out at the crowd and saw familiar faces, a patchwork of neighbors, friends, local veterans, and Lily, her eyes glistening with a mixture of pride and worry. A knot tightened in his stomach. The stage was a world away from the sanctuary of grease and steel. "Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue." As he stepped up to the mic, vulnerability washed over him. "I'm Jack," he began, his voice quaking. "I run the auto shop and I'm, well, struggling." The crowd gasped, shifting as his words wove a tale of late nights and tears over bills. Jack felt a wave of warmth from the audience, a mix of empathy and admiration, yet the twinge of pity settled like a stone in his gut. He locked eyes with Lily, her expression a mixture of hope and concern. The applause that erupted was deafening, but within him stirred an unresolved tension. Would they ever truly see him, not as the man fighting the tide but as a father simply trying to do right by his daughter? The question lingered like a whisper in his heart, leaving both him and Lily suspended in a canvas of uncertainty. The applause faded, but Jack's heart raced. He glanced at the crowd. Faces that had once been just neighbors transformed into a sea of support. Still, the knot in his stomach wouldn't let go. The warmth he felt wasn't enough to drown out the fear churning in him. What did this bravery mean for his family? What was the fallout for Lily? "Dad." Lily's voice broke through his whirling thoughts, as she approached him with a huge grin, her freckles dancing in the dim lighting. "You were incredible." Her eyes sparkled, and for a moment, everything else fell away. In that moment, he was just a dad who made his daughter proud. "Thanks, kiddo," he said, forcing a smile in return. But underneath the surface, doubt lingered. The audience's approval felt hollow. He didn't want to be a charity case. The pride they felt was a reminder of everything he was trying to hide. As they stepped off the stage, Jack couldn't help but notice an old friend, Eric, leaning against a lamppost with a drink in hand. They hadn't spoken in years, not since Eric broke away, chasing his own path to success. Their eyes locked for an instant before Eric's expression shifted, a knowing look that sent a chill down Jack's spine. "Hey, Jack. Long time no see." Eric called out, his voice loud, but it felt distant. "Yeah, not since, well, you know," Jack replied, his voice barely above a whisper. The tension hung like a thick cloud between them, shadows of past failures creeping in. Lily excused herself to chat with some friends, and he stood there, feeling a wave of isolation roll over him. "How's the shop?" Eric asked, the question hanging heavy in the air. It felt like a spotlight shining down, amplifying the insecurities Jack had tried so hard to keep buried. "It's, getting by. You know how it is," Jack replied, brushing off the truth. A knot formed in his throat as he searched for a way to change the subject. "What about you? Still in real estate?" Eric leaned back against the pole, his posture relaxed, eyes sparkling with success. "Yeah, things have been great. Just closed a couple of big deals." He paused, eyeing Jack. "You should consider coming by the office sometime. I could use a mechanic on speed dial for some of my clients." Jack forced a laugh, but tightened his hands in his pockets. It felt like a pity offer, wrapped in false camaraderie. "I appreciate that, really," he said, but inside he couldn't help but feel smaller. Before he could dwell on it, the loud laughter of Lily echoed from the crowd. She was animated, chatting about college plans and dreams, and for a moment, Jack felt a flicker of hope. Maybe this was the kind of life she needed, a world that looked beyond their struggles. But underneath the surface, doubt still churned. Was he doing enough? Could he let her see the truth without scaring her away? As he walked back toward her, Jack realized he needed to embrace the support, not retreat into shame. Maybe this was his chance to be more transparent, more connected. "Hey, Lily," he said, sinking into the moment. "How about a road trip? Just you and me? To see those colleges you've been talking about." Her eyes lit up. "Really? That would be amazing." But as they talked over the plans, Jack couldn't shake off his worries. Could they really afford it? Could they cross the bridge from mere existence into a brighter future where they both thrived? That night, he lay awake, thinking about what he'd said, weighing the cost against the dream. But in the shadows, a storm was brewing. Secrets he knew he had to confront lay in wait. When dawn broke, a new chapter loomed, but hope clashed with an undeniable dread. The journey ahead wouldn't be easy. And as he wrestled with his fears, one thought echoed louder than all the rest: what if their past shadows weren't the only thing holding them back? What if there was more waiting just beyond reach? Morning light spilled through the window, illuminating Jack's restless thoughts. He stared at the ceiling, outlining the to-do list in his mind. Call the mechanic, fix the leaky faucet, plan the road trip. Yet, even the mundane tasks felt loaded with weight. Lily had already dashed out to meet her friends at the local cafe, full of excitement about their adventure. Jack wished he could share in her enthusiasm. Instead, he wrapped himself in his own worries. Questions hung thick in the air. How could he provide a college visit on a shoestring budget? And even more pressing, could he shield Lily from the harsh realities of their lives? Sighing, he pulled himself out of bed, dressed quickly, and made his way to the shop. The morning drive through quiet streets felt surreal. Everything around him moved with a steady rhythm, while he felt stuck in a whirlwind of uncertainty. Arriving at the shop, he was greeted by the familiar scent of grease and car oil. The soft hum of machinery brought him comfort, a stark contrast to his swirling thoughts. Yet the moment he stepped inside, the reality of the day's challenges confronted him. A couple of customers were waiting, their expressions mixed with impatience and irritation. "Morning, Jack. You got time to check my brakes?" one man grumbled, tapping his foot. "Absolutely," Jack murmured, forcing a smile as he grabbed his tools. As he worked, his mind drifted back to the road trip plans. He couldn't shake the feeling that he was setting himself and Lily up for disappointment. His thoughts collided with the sound of tools clanging and customers chatting. The reality of his life wasn't just a sequence of repairs and payments, it was about building a future for Lily. Each turn of the wrench felt heavier. Just then, the bell above the door jingled, and in walked Sarah, a regular customer and friend. She was always bright and cheery, today was no different. "Hey, Jack. Got any big plans this weekend?" Before he could answer, she continued, "I heard about your speech last night. Everyone was talking about it. You really touched people." "Thanks, Sarah," he replied, but the warmth didn't quite reach his heart. As they chatted, Sarah noticed his hesitance. She leaned in closer, her voice softer. "You know, we're all rooting for you and Lily. It's okay to lean on your friends when things get tough." He felt a stirring in his chest, a twinge of longing for the support he often pushed away. "I appreciate that, really. It's just I don't want to be a burden." "Jack, you're not a burden. You're a part of this community. Let people help you. It's what we do for each other." Her words resonated, yet a trace of doubt clung to him. As the day progressed, Jack's mind wrestled with the idea of reaching out. Maybe he wasn't alone in this fight. Perhaps embracing the community's support could ease some of his burdens. Later that evening, exhausted but contemplative, Jack found himself scrolling through old photos on his phone, snapshots of happy memories with Lily. But one image stood out. It was a photograph from years ago, taken during a family trip to the coast. They were laughing, blissfully unaware of the struggles that lay ahead. The warmth of the memory brought tears to his eyes, a soft reminder of the joyful moments buried in the chaos. As he looked closely, a shadow of realization swept over him. If he allowed himself to be vulnerable, to share their struggles, maybe that joy wasn't as far away as it seemed. Determined, he picked up his phone and began drafting a message to a friend from the community, a simple let's chat. It felt like a first step, a small leap into the unknown, but just as he turned back to the photos, his phone buzzed. An incoming call from Eric. Jack's heart raced, a mix of emotions flooding through him. Should he answer? Would this change everything? With a deep breath, he picked up. "Hey, Eric." "Jack, I've been thinking about us," came Eric's voice, but before he could finish, Jack's fears loomed larger than before. What did this mean for their past? And for his future with Lily? That one call could very well shape the course of their lives. And as he listened, Jack realized, some roads were meant to be taken, even if they led into the unknown. Jack's heart thudded as he listened to Eric's voice, now threading through his mind like a loose strand threatening to unravel everything he thought he knew. "You remember when we used to talk about our dreams? What happened to them? It feels like we've both just lost sight." The weight of those words settled heavily in the air. The dreams, they had been bright sparks of hope, pulsating with possibility. But in the march of daily lives, reality had blurred those once vivid outlines. Jack felt a suffocating rush of regret wash over him. "Yeah, I remember," he replied quietly, his voice barely above a whisper. "But I don't even think it matters anymore." "Of course it does," Eric insisted, his tone shifting to urgency. "Now more than ever, it matters. You need to remember who you are, Jack. Not just the mechanic or the father, but you, the dreamer." Dreamer. The word sparked a flicker of something within him, a long-dormant ember reigniting. Jack had tucked that part of himself away to weather the storms of life, but perhaps it was time to breathe life back into it. "I don't want to set Lily up for disappointment," he confessed, the words spilling out like the contents of an overfull glass. "Then don't show her what it means to pursue something worth fighting for," Eric countered, his voice steady, almost like a lifeline thrown in turbulent waters. "You've got to let her see the real you, not just this version that's struggling. Let her know it's okay to dream big, even when times are tough." Jack closed his eyes, picturing Lily's bright smile and the excited way she spoke about her future. She deserved to see a father who dared to step into the unknown, who faced challenges boldly, refusing to let fear dictate their lives. "You're right," he murmured, gaining clarity with each passing second. "But how?" "Start small," Eric suggested. "Reach out. Show up. Take that road trip, find a way to make it happen. It's about the journey, not just the destination. You don't have to have everything figured out." As he hung up, Jack felt an unfamiliar flutter of hope entwined with the knots of anxiety twisting in his gut. Could he really venture onto new roads? It took both courage and trust, but for the first time in a long while, he felt a spark of determination rising within him. That night, Jack found himself unable to sleep, his mind racing with possibilities. The phone call with Eric had reignited something in him, an awareness of what he could do, not just for himself but for Lily as well. Maybe it was time to show her that life was more than just survival, it was about living. With a flutter of excitement, he grabbed a notepad from the kitchen drawer, jotting down ideas for the trip, highlights of old memories he wanted to recapture, new places to explore. Each word felt like an invitation to joy, an embrace of the life he wanted them to have. Just then, the distant sound of laughter floated through the window, reminding him of Lily in the cafe earlier that day, her spirit contagious. He couldn't let her down. And as he penned more details, a plan began to take shape, a promise to introduce Lily to adventures that lay beyond the walls of their reality. But just as he finished writing down a potential route, a gnawing thought intruded. Was this all too ambitious? What if he couldn't pull it off? The fear started creeping back in, as if it were an unwelcome guest returning to disturb the newfound excitement. With a sigh, Jack set the pen down, the paper feeling heavy in his hands. Could he really be the father he wanted to be? Or was he overextending himself, risking more than he could afford? In that moment of doubt, he reached for his phone again, hesitating. He needed to talk to someone. But who could he turn to now? As his fingers hovered over the screen, a sense of urgency washed over him. The answer felt just out of his grasp, waiting for him to discover it. He took a deep breath, opening his contacts. The journey ahead loomed, but it sparked a new kind of hope within him. Little did he know, the next call he made would change everything and open new doors he hadn't even imagined before. Jack sat on the edge of his bed, heart racing with a mix of excitement and fear. The night stretched on, shadows dancing across the walls, amplifying the internal battle inside him. He stared at the phone, each contact a potential bridge to a path he hadn't embarked on yet. Suddenly, the door creaked open and Lily walked in, rubbing the sleep from her eyes. "Dad? Are you okay?" Her voice was soft, laced with a hint of concern that wrapped around him like a warm blanket. He forced a smile, the weariness lifting slightly. "Just thinking, sweet pea." "About what?" Her curious eyes sparkled with sleep-fueled wonder. "Just about plans for the summer." The words felt heavy yet free on his lips as they tumbled out. But something in her expression urged him to share more. "Do you remember how I used to tell you about the road trip my dad took us on?" Lily's face lit up. "The one with the old car and the beach?" "Yeah, that one," Jack replied, his heart warming. "I want us to go on an adventure like that. Just the two of us." Lily's smile stretched wide, rippling through the darkness like a beacon. "Really? We could see the ocean. And maybe stop at a diner with milkshakes?" Jack chuckled, feeling the tension in his chest ease. "Absolutely, milkshakes are a must. But we can also stop at some cool places along the way. What do you think? Would you be up for a little exploration?" She nodded vigorously, her enthusiasm infectious. "Yes. But you have to promise we'll take lots of pictures." He reached out, pulling her into a hug. In that moment, Jack felt the flicker of hope turn into a warm flame. Maybe he wasn't so lost after all. "We'll take the best pictures. Just you wait." After a few moments, Lily pulled back, her expression suddenly serious. "Dad, are you sure you want to do this? It sounds kinda scary." "Yeah, it is. But you know what? Sometimes the best things in life come from taking a jump into the unknown." Lily's brow furrowed, a small frown forming. "But what if something goes wrong?" Jack swallowed hard, the weight of her fear echoing his own. "We'll figure it out together. The important thing is that we'll be out there, experiencing life. We'll handle whatever comes our way." She considered his words, nodding slowly. "Okay. As long as we can have ice cream every day, I'm in." "Deal," Jack laughed, the weight on his shoulders feeling lighter. Now, let us make a list of everything we do want to see. With focused determination, they sat on the bed together, a shared mission igniting laughter and crackles of excitement. They plotted out possible stops, including roadside attractions and picnic spots, and for a moment, Jack allowed himself to dream. Hours slipped by, and as they piled ideas onto the page, Jack thought of his earlier worries. They were fading like mist. He was building something more than just a trip. They were constructing memories, pieces of joy that would echo in their hearts long after the journey ended. Just as they wrapped up, the phone buzzed on the bed, vibrating with urgency. Jack glanced at the screen. It was a message from Eric, a photo of an idyllic beach with the caption, "You can do this. Remember, adventure awaits." A swell of motivation surged through him. This was it. He was ready to embrace more than just a new path. He was ready to embrace a new fatherhood, one that taught Lily to dream, to take risks, and to simply live. But there was still the fear gnawing in the back of his mind. Would he be able to follow through? Or would this remain yet another dream sidelined by doubt? With renewed resolve, he turned to Lily. "Tomorrow, we start planning. I want to make this happen." And as she bounced up and down, her joy radiant, Jack allowed a smile to bloom on his face. But the question loomed: what if the adventure didn't lead to everything they wanted? Would they find joy in the unknown or learn a lesson neither of them expected? The following morning, sunlight streamed through the window, casting a warm glow over everything in the room. Jack woke up with a sense of purpose. The day was his to seize, and he knew he had to make the most of it for Lily's sake too. He could hear her humming happily to herself as she brushed her teeth down the hall. After breakfast, they gathered around the dining table, a blank sheet of paper sprawled out in the middle. Jack watched as Lily bounced in her seat, her excitement radiating like sunlight. "Okay, Dad. What's first?" she asked, eyes wide and bright. He grinned, feeling the energy of the moment. "How about we start with the places we both dream of visiting?" Lily's brows furrowed in concentration. I want to go to a zoo and see a real lion. And maybe we can find a giant ball of yarn? You know, like that one on the internet?" Jack chuckled. "You mean a giant ball of yarn that's in a random town? That's an adventure waiting to happen." As they brainstormed, they filled their list with wild ideas: unique roadside attractions, quirky museums, and scenic picnic spots. But then, just like a cloud shifting across the sun, doubt crept into Jack's mind. Will we really do all this? He thought. What if we face obstacles along the way? What if I don't drive well, or we get stuck? Lily interrupted his thoughts, her small finger pointing to the list. Look, Dad. We need to add ice cream here. Can we make it a rule that every stop has to have ice cream? His chest tightened at her pure joy, battling against his worries. That sounds like a plan. Ice cream it is. And just like that, he felt like they were making something tangible, a promise sealed with laughter. As they continued their planning, Lily's enthusiasm filled the air, lifting Jack higher out of his swirling doubts. They both were lost in ideas when Jack's phone buzzed again, breaking the bubble of their excitement. This time it was a call from Eric. "Hey, man. How's the planning going?" Eric's voice carried a sense of excitement that was contagious. Jack could hear laughter in the background, others enjoying life in a way he yearned to replicate. "It's going well. We're planning a road trip," Jack shared, his heart swelling with pride. "Just Lily and I, dude. That's awesome." "You're gonna create some epic memories," Eric replied. "But don't forget to relax along the way. It's not just about the destination." Jack nodded, even though he was worried about driving some beaten path. "Yeah, I'll remember that." Lily was watching him with expectant eyes. "Was that Eric? Is he coming with us?" "No, just catching up. But he reminded me that we have to enjoy the journey," Jack said, but thoughts about driving felt heavier now. Lily tilted her head. "But why would you worry? We have each other. You're like the coolest dad ever, and all we need are some snacks and our playlist." His heart swelled at her words, filled with pride for his little girl who was braver than he felt. "You're right, kiddo. With our playlist, we'll be unstoppable. But as a small wave of apprehension swept over him, Jack couldn't ignore his lingering anxiety. Could he really keep her safe? Would they encounter difficulties he couldn't handle? As the sun set, casting golden light into their cozy space, Jack caught Lily staring at the list. "I can't wait, Dad. What if we see dolphins at the beach?" Her smile ignited something in him, a flicker of courage. He needed to show her that adventure was worth the risk, that even fear could be conquered. "We'll do it, Lily. Together." And for the first time that day, he believed it, but just as the day wound down, creeping doubts whispered again. Could he truly embrace everything unknown? Would the journey really transform them? The thought hung in the air, and the question loomed: what would happen if the road brought them face to face with more than just fun, but challenges that tested their bond like never before? The morning sun rose bright and cheerful, illuminating Jack's kitchen. Today was the day they'd finally set out on their adventure. He felt a mix of excitement and nervousness as he reached for his favorite coffee mug, the one with the faded slogan that read "World's Best Dad." He could almost hear Lily's laughter echoing throughout the house, a sweet reminder of why they embarked on this trip. "Dad. Are we leaving soon?" Lily's voice rang through the halls, bubbling with anticipation. Jack spun around, almost spilling his coffee. "We'll be leaving right after breakfast, kiddo. Are you ready?" Lily practically bounced in her chair as she inhaled her cereal. "I've got my backpack and my favorite stuffed animal. Don't forget the ice cream." Her pure enthusiasm made Jack smile, even as his palms felt sweaty again. They packed the car with snacks, a cooler filled with sandwiches, and of course, a large supply of ice cream. As he handed Lily her lovable stuffed bunny to keep her company, he couldn't shake the thought of what lay ahead. With Lily safely strapped in, he settled into the driver's seat, taking a deep breath. "Let us do this." The car rolled out of the driveway and onto the open road. As they drove, Jack played their carefully curated playlist. "What's first on our list?" he asked, glancing over at Lily, who was lost in her world of daydreams. "Let us find that giant ball of yarn," she squealed, eyes sparkling with wonder. Jack chuckled and toggled the map app on his phone. Direction set, they began their journey. The roads unfolded like a story, each twist and turn igniting a kind of magic in the air. Days in the past came rushing back: his own childhood adventures, lazy summer afternoons spent road tripping with his parents. Lily's laughter became the soundtrack to his thoughts as they passed fields filled with wildflowers and gorgeous, sprawling landscapes. But the road wasn't all smooth. About 100 miles in, the car sputtered. Jack's heart raced as he pulled over, a wave of apprehension crashing over him. "What's wrong?" Lily's worried voice broke his thoughts. "Just a little hiccup, sweetie. Let me check." He stepped out, feeling the heat of the day weighing down on him. The engine was hot, and doubt seeped into his mind. What if I can't fix this? The weight of responsibility pressed against his chest. Jack popped the hood, staring at the jumble of parts. He felt small and out of his element. Then he heard it, a soft voice beside him. "Dad, you can do it. You're the best dad ever. Remember? Wicked cool?" Her unwavering confidence sent warmth cascading through him. "You really believe that?" "Yeah. Just like I believe in magic. You know, sometimes you just have to believe." Her words struck him deep, peeling back layers of fear and uncertainty. Magic. With renewed determination, Jack began to fiddle with the engine. Lily held her breath, eyes wide, watching her dad transform worry into action. Slowly, as he focused and worked through each component, hope bubbled up. A sudden roar of the engine confirmed it: Jack had cracked the code. The car purred back to life, a minor miracle in their adventure. He turned, grinning like a kid, and saw Lily's face light up with joy. "See? I told you. I knew you could do it." She climbed into the passenger seat, her energy revitalizing the atmosphere. "Let us get that giant yarn ball." Just as Jack hit the gas, their next destination looming in the horizon, a thunderstorm formed out of nowhere, dark clouds creeping in. Despite the rain streaming down, Jack felt something swell inside. What if this journey was more than they planned for? What if the bumps in the road led them to a new understanding of each other? Ready for this? He called out to Lily through the downpour. Bring it on, Dad. She shouted back, her laughter echoing through the claps of thunder. They drove into the storm, a mix of joy and uncertainty swirling in the air. But little did they know, the road ahead held surprises that would weave their bond tighter than ever, revealing lessons they never expected. What challenges awaited them? Amidst the thunder and rain? Would those struggles define their journey or open up new paths? The storm raged outside, sheets of rain splattering against the windshield like nature's own percussion. Jack squinted through the downpour, gripping the steering wheel as the car jolted over potholes. The wild weather seemed to mirror his inner turmoil. Was it a good idea to embark on this journey? Did he have what it took to be the dad Lily needed? Can we sing a song, Dad? Lily piped up after a moment of silence, her voice shining through the storm's chaos. Jack forced a smile, inspired by her spirited request. Sure. What do you want to sing? The ice cream song. She insisted, giggling as she recalled their favorite ditty about sweet treats and summertime fun. As they belted out the goofy lyrics, laughter danced over the sound of the storm, pushing away the weight of uncertainty. Jack watched Lily's joy as she sang, her bunny bobbing along to the rhythm of their voices. A little piece of hope bloomed in his heart. Maybe this trip wasn't just about the destinations, but about the moments they shared. Suddenly, a loud crack of thunder shook the car, and Lily let out a startled gasp. Jack's heart raced, but he caught her eyes in the rearview mirror. It's just noise, princess. We're safe inside. I'm not scared, Dad. I like thunder. She declared, her courage shining through the brief moment of fear. An idea sparked. Want to play a game? Let us see if we can spot the colors of the rainbow when the rain lets up. Her eyes widened with excitement. That is so cool. I can find red, orange, yellow. Jack watched as she eagerly listed the colors, creating a vibrant image amongst the dark clouds. The storm outside continued, but inside the car, something began to shift. It wasn't just about getting to the giant ball of yarn anymore. This journey was about the connection they were building. Despite the turbulent weather, after what felt like an eternity, the rain began to ease, and the clouds started to separate. Look, Dad. The sky. Lily shouted, her finger pointing at a sliver of blue breaking through. Jack pulled the car over, where the landscape transformed from gray chaos to a winter wonderland of greens and blues. And just beyond them, a magnificent rainbow arched across the sky, its colors vivid and bold. Wow, Jack breathed, struck by the beauty before them. It was as if the storm had washed away more than just the dirt from the road, it had unveiled a spectacular sight that felt like a reward for their faith and patience. Do you think the rainbow is magic? Lily asked, her eyes sparkling with wonder. Definitely, Jack replied, his voice soft with awe. I think it's a reminder that after every storm, something beautiful can happen. In that moment, as Lily squealed with delight and pointed out each color, Jack's heart swelled with a bittersweet realization. They had faced the storm together, and what felt chaotic had turned into something breathtaking. He understood now this trip had the potential to teach them both about resilience, joy, and the unexpected beauty of life. As they settled back in the car, laughter still echoing in the air, Jack noticed Lily leaning back, her eyes already beginning to flutter. Dad? She whispered, sleep creeping into her voice. Do you think we can find more magic? Absolutely. I'm counting on it, he smiled, warmth spreading through him. As he drove forward, the steering wheel practically gliding through newfound roadways, he wondered what magic awaited them next. But as he rounded a bend, the road stretched out, twisting into the unknown. A flicker of movement caught his eye, sending his heart racing. There, standing alongside the road, was an elderly woman, her hands raised as if she were summoning them toward an adventure yet to unfold. Jack. He thought, a sense of urgency rising. What could she want? Should we stop? Lily stirred in her seat, waking up to the sight. "Who is that?" she asked, her curiosity piqued. "Only one way to find out," Jack said, steering the car toward the mystery that lay ahead. Would this moment be the start of yet another unexpected twist in their journey? As Jack pulled over to the side of the road, he felt a mix of emotions swirling inside him. The woman was ancient, her silver hair cascading over her shoulders, and her clothes fluttered around her like the leaves in the wind. She looked up at Jack with eyes that seemed to hold stories from decades past. "Hello there," she called out, her voice strong yet soothing, cutting through the tension in the air. "Could you spare a moment?" Jack exchanged glances with Lily, who was now fully awake, her curiosity glowing brightly. "What do you think, kiddo?" he asked, feeling the weight of the decision resting on him. "Let us find out," Lily exclaimed, her excitement infectious. With a small nod, he stepped out of the car, glancing back to ensure Lily was safe in her seat. "Let us see what this magic is all about," he thought, stepping toward the mysterious figure. "Thank you for stopping," the woman said, her smile warm. "I've been waiting for a kind soul to come along." She paused for a moment, her eyes scanning the sky above. "You see, the storm has a way of clearing not just the air but the heart." "What do you mean?" Jack asked, his curiosity piqued despite the unease gnawing at him. "It's simple yet profound," she replied, looking deep into his eyes. "Every storm has a purpose. It can reveal what truly matters. In your laughter, I heard a deeper calling that you might not even recognize within yourself." Jack felt a shiver of truth in her words. He thought about their song, their laughter, and the rainbow that had just brightened their day. It became clearer maybe this journey was about more than just the destination, it was about strength, connection, and discovery. The woman extended her hand, revealing a delicate silver pendant gleaming in the light. "This will help you remember your journey. It's a symbol of hope and a reminder of the magic that exists when you face your storms together." Jack hesitated, unsure of what to do with such an unexpected gift from a stranger. I don't know if I can accept this," he stammered, emotions welling up inside him. "You can, and you must," she insisted gently. "It's time to embrace the magic that this road has to offer. For you and for Lily." He glanced back at the car, where Lily sat, eyes wide and filled with wonder. At that moment, he felt a surge of determination well up within him. He wanted to be the father who showed his daughter that embracing the unknown could lead to beautiful surprises. "Okay," he said, taking a deep breath. "I'll take it." The old woman smiled widely, placing the pendant in his palm. "Trust in it, and it will guide you. The magic is all around, you just need to be open to it." As he stepped back, holding the pendant close, the elderly woman turned and began to walk away, her silhouette blending into the backdrop of the emerging sunlight. Behind him, the car door creaked open as Lily bounded out to join him. "What did she say, Dad?" Lily asked, her eyes glowing with excitement. The shimmering pendant finally caught her eye. "What's that?" "It's a reminder for our journey," he replied, feeling a weight lift from his shoulders. "A symbol of magic." "Can I hold it?" she asked eagerly, her small hands reaching out. Jack laughed softly, kneeling beside her. "Of course. We're in this together, right? This trip is about both of us." Lily took the pendant, her eyes sparkling as she turned it over in her hands. "Do you think we're going to find even more magic?" With the road ahead stretching out like an endless adventure, Jack felt a new sense of hope blooming. "Absolutely, Princess. I have a feeling this is just the beginning." But as they climbed back into the car, Jack couldn't shake an unsettling feeling. Had they truly left the storm behind, or was it still lurking just out of view? A gust of wind rattled the car, and the clouds began to darken once more. "Hold on, Lily," he said, gripping the steering wheel as uncertainty loomed. "I think another adventure is about to begin." As the dark clouds rolled in again, Jack felt a familiar tension grip his heart. He glanced at Lily, who was wearing a radiant smile, clutching the pendant in her tiny hands like it was the greatest treasure in the world. Her joy reminded him that they had already faced so much together on this journey. They had laughed through the storm and emerged to witness its beauty. But still, uncertainty churned in Jack's gut. "Hold tight," he called out, the engine roaring to life as he steered back onto the road. In the distance, he spotted a flicker of lightning, followed in quick succession by low rumbles of thunder that grumbled like an old friend. As they drove, Jack realized that the storms outside were just like the storms inside him, the worries, the fears, the what-ifs. But those storms could also bring growth and new beginnings. Maybe the most valuable insights came when everything felt unsafe and uncertain. "Dad," Lily piped up, her vibrant energy breaking through his muddled thoughts. "Can we listen to our song? The ice cream song?" Her request danced in the air, a reminder of joy amidst the turmoil. "Of course," he replied, reaching for his phone to cue up their favorite song. The moment the familiar notes flooded the car, he watched as she began to sway in her seat, her laughter spilling over and lifting his spirits. Just then, the first drops of rain began to patter on the roof of the car, but instead of panic, Jack felt something shift inside him. This was ordinary. This was the journey of life. Sometimes chaos would find them, and other times light would break through. What mattered was that they were together, learning from one another, and creating memories that would last a lifetime. As they wound through the countryside, the rain intensified, blurring the world outside. Jack felt the road start to slip away, but when he looked to his side, Lily was animatedly singing along with all her heart. She reminded him that fear could spark courage, they could dance through the storms together. "Isn't it lovely, Dad?" she asked, gazing out the window. "The colors are so bright. Look at that rainbow." And there it was again, arching across the sky with brilliance, shades of red, purple, and blue washing over them. Jack's heart soared. It wasn't just the skies clearing, it was the priming of a deeper understanding. They were crafting a journey that embraced both beauty and struggle. And that was okay. It meant they were alive. Just then, they passed a sign indicating a scenic overlook, an impromptu stop just waiting for their hearts to explore it. "Let us check it out," he exclaimed, feeling the thrill of adventure bubbling inside him, even with the storm still threatening the sky. As they parked, Jack noticed a soft glow breaking through the clouds. Maybe magic was indeed lurking, waiting for them to discover it. They hurriedly jumped out, taking in the lush landscape sprawled before them. The mountains in the distance kissed the sky, rugged and majestic, reminding Jack of life's trials and triumphs. "Wow!" Lily exclaimed, twirling around in joy, the pendant dancing around her neck. "This is beautiful." Her eyes sparkled not just with the scenery but with the acknowledgement that they were part of something bigger than their worries. With a renewed sense of purpose, his heart swelling, Jack knelt beside her. "You know, Lil," he gestured at the view before them, "is what life is about. It's not just the trip itself but the moments we share, the struggles we face together, and the beauty that always follows the storm." Her face lit up, understanding his words. "Like magic?" she asked, eyes full of wonder. "Exactly," he nodded, pulling her into a side hug. "Life is all about those magical moments, especially when they come from overcoming challenges together." As they stood there, a sense of connection wrapped around them like a cozy blanket. It didn't matter what awaited them next, the road still twisting ahead, the troubles lingering out of view. What mattered was the bond they were crafting, and the understanding that they could lean on each other to navigate the twists and turns alike. As Jack turned back to the car, a new sense of determination pulsed through him. He had a vivid image of a future where he wasn't just a mechanic struggling to get by, but a father who believed in impossible dreams alongside his daughter. With spirits high and hearts full of hope, they hopped back into the car, ready to chase down the next adventure, whatever it might be. And as Jack steered into the unknown, he felt that familiar spark of excitement. They were in this together, ready to embrace life's storms and the magic that lay in wait beyond them. So Jack pressed on, with the promise of more discoveries ahead. For that was the essence of life and of fatherhood, a journey of love, laughter, and unexpected magic waiting to unfold every single day. As they drove into the horizon, Jack whispered one last time, "Adventure awaits, sweet pea." And in that moment, as the sun broke through the clouds, illuminating the path before them, Jack felt nothing but gratitude. He turned to Lily's eager face, filled with wonder, and knew they were destined for something incredible. The journey wasn't just about reaching the destination. No, it was about transformation, growth, and learning about staying resilient, remaining open to magic, and nurturing an unbreakable bond between a father and his beloved daughter. And with that spirit guiding them, Jack knew they could conquer anything life threw their way. Their adventure was just beginning, full of promise and endless possibilities. Now imagine if Jack and Lily's story could inspire others around you. You need to subscribe now to our channel to witness more heartwarming journeys. This is the moment to show your support. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm. Every thumbs up counts. Comment your reactions and feelings about Jack and Lily's transformation. And don't wait not even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this inspiring tale. True fans know how important your support is to keep the stories flowing.